Right.
Kay, I guess we are live.
Yes, absolutely, NK. Hello, everyone.
Awesome.
How are you?
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Thank you so much for taking our time and joining this conversation with us today. So, guys, if you can see us well, if you can hear us clearly, I would just request you to drop in a one in the chat. Okay,
Okay.
that's awesome, guys. And just as a heads up, okay, if I am looking the most smart on this call today, I would just request you to drop in a 1+1. Okay, so I guess I appreciate that, Amy. Thank you so much, guys. It really means well. So again, happy Wednesday, guys. I guess let's just give a couple of minutes for everyone to join in today. And in the meantime, we would love to hear from you. Okay, where are you guys from? So I see a lot of us joining from the States, but we would love to understand where are you guys from. Okay, so I see Amy from Texas. Hey, Amy, happy Wednesday. Thanks for joining in. I see a few from San Diego, Washington. Okay. Oh, that's nice. I see a couple of us from Malaysia as well. Nice. Hey, Sharon, long time. Thanks for joining in.
Hey, NK.
Okay. So I guess, Sam, let's just wait for one more minute before we kind of get the ball rolling, get started. But guys, we are pretty excited to kind of present what is in store in terms of AI and automation. Definitely, we have a power-packed presentation that's ready. A few of the features that we have already launched, a few of the features that are just coming up within a couple of weeks. And we have Sam on the call today. So, Sam, thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you, guys. I'm excited to present few features with AI and Smartflows. Looking forward to that.
Amazing. And I see Kay on the call as well. Kay, thank you
Hello,
so much
everyone.
for taking our time.
Thank you, Nishket.
That's amazing. So, guys, without a further ado, let's kind of get started. And, if you have any questions alongside the presentation, we'll just request you to drop it in the chat right here. We have a few moderators that will help answer those questions. And we definitely have a Q&A session that's planned. And please feel free to shoot as many questions that you would want to kind of put across today. Perfect, guys. So the agenda for our conversation today is an introduction to the new SalesMate features. So what is it that we've already released? What is it that we have planned to make the features much more intuitive, make the software much more effective? We will definitely start with SalesMate's call transcriptions. We will also talk about Smartflows. We will then, go to some data validation rules that we have already released, and we'll also take a sneak peek into the upcoming enhancements. What is there onto our roadmap, which we are pretty excited to show you. We would definitely love all the questions alongside the way. So let's directly get started. Right. So talking about the first feature that's called transcriptions. Right. So I want all of us to kind of think of a use case. We manage multiple lead life cycles throughout our business cycles. It's first a suspect. From there, it turns into a prospect. From a prospect, it turns into a qualified lead, and from lead, and then customer. Right. So that's where the sales life cycle is very important for us. As a sales leader, as a sales manager, we would definitely want to understand what are my best reps saying on the calls that are getting them meetings. What are my account executives saying on the negotiation calls so that they are able to kind of crush the negotiation conversations, right? So that's where tracking this information tracking this entire intel is super important because we just don't want to win a one-off deal. We want to make it a scalable process. We want to make it a sustainable process. And that's where we at SalesMate have brought in call transcriptions. So let's dive in directly inside the software to kind of learn more about call transcriptions. So to make a winning sales process, SalesMate brings to you an AI-based call transcription. The SalesMate call transcription feature ensures that you never miss a single detail from your calls. And using advanced AI-driven speech-to-text technology, SalesMate automatically transcribes your phone calls, all your discussions into accurate searchable text. So as soon as a call ends, a transcript is generated and attached to your contact or to your deal record, making it very easy for you to view it later on. And what makes the call transcription especially insightful is how it highlights questions and extracts actionable points from your entire conversation. Right. So as in when you are on your SalesMate screen, you will see that transcription is already a module that's added into your SalesMate accounts. While you enable the recording, you will also be able to kind of start your call transcriptions directly from within the software. And all of these call transcriptions will be laid down right here inside of your transcription module. While you're there in your transcription module, you definitely will get a very similar look and feel of the software, wherein you can pin certain views, you can add certain filters, and you can easily, re-refer these views or these recordings later on into your conversations. Right. So right now, this was just a demo instance that we kind of created. And while we have this demo instance that was created, we can definitely, see a couple of transcriptions, right, that were kind of recorded in terms of the customer conversations that we have had. So while we kind of have all of these transcriptions laid out, again, guys, just as a heads up, this will be available with SalesMate's built-in telephony. Second, the recording and the transcription options need to be enabled while you're there, wanting to record call transcriptions using SalesMate. Right. So I guess, Sam, there seems to be some technical issue here, wherein I'm not able to see the screen. Would you be so kind to kind of check this at your end once, please?
And the screen is there.
Okay, I guess that's not a problem. Sam, the screen is still there, but I am not able to see it for some reason. Let me just, kind of quickly just go in and share in, my side of the screen so that it becomes much more easier. I guess, would that be okay, Sam?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, guys, I really apologize, for this. We definitely, love technology, but sometimes, it definitely happens with us that whenever we are in such big and good presentations or webinars, we definitely run into technical challenges. So I just apologize for the interruption for a couple of seconds here, but let me just kind of quickly share my screen so that we can walk through the call transcriptions. So just sharing my screen quickly. Okay, so guys, is my screen visible?
Yes, NK, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. I guess let's just kind of open up one of the call transcriptions right here. So people at SalesMate always make fun of me because every time I end up picking Alicia as my demo record. I guess everyone knows this, and everyone still makes fun of me. But yeah, coming back to call transcriptions. So as soon as you will pick up call transcriptions, you will definitely see an entire summary of the conversation that is neatly laid out so that you can re-refer to this conversation later on. On this conversation is where you will also find analytics trackers, right? So by default, SalesMate gives you roughly around 27 trackers that are already added into the system. And if you want, you want to add additional analytics agents, you just need to go on to your setup, head on to Sandy AI, and that's where you will have the ability of creating new trackers in the system. So based upon your use cases, you can either create a word tracker or you can also create an AI-based tracker. Right. So just as a few use cases or as an examples, right? Kamlesh from customer success will have the ability of putting up escalation trackers right? So if someone tells me that, hey, I'm not happy, right? Or say not happy just as a word, right? Or say escalate. So these could be word trackers that a customer success manager could put in. Me as a sales manager, I can easily add in trackers like budget, trackers like contracts, trackers like discount for a pricing, agent. I also have AI-based trackers that are available right here. So where I can have more and complete sentences. So let's say when someone tells me your price is too expensive, I need to ask my boss before making a decision. I need to ask my wife, or say I need to ask a tooth fairy, right? So all of these objections we hear them a lot, but we can add these as analytics agents right here. And once we have added in all of these trackers, we can definitely head back to our call transcriptions. And alongside the call transcriptions as is where you'll be able to see these trackers. So during the start of the conversation is where I was able to understand what was the decision criteria that Alicia mentioned. So she's definitely looking for a mobile app, right? That is a showstopper decision maker or a decision criteria that she has. And towards the end of the conversation is where we were able to understand what are the competitors that she's evaluating us with, or say what is her feedback. Alongside this transcription, me as a manager can easily add in comments. So I can leave these comments right here. I also have the ability of putting up reactions, right? And as an intelligence, I will get the entire call intelligence right here. Okay, so generally, people sometimes complain that sales reps talk a lot. So right here is where I understand that, okay, it was a decent talk speed. It was about 197 words per minute. I can also check the customer sentiment. Yes, the sentiment was positive. We didn't interrupt this customer much. Okay, so the I can also check the interruption frequency, and definitely I have the talk ratio, the talk to listen ratio that kind of works well. As a manager, I definitely have all of these insights, but as a sales rep, I don't need to worry anymore of taking in notes, understanding the next call to actions, because I know that yes, everything is getting transcribed. After the conversation is where I can go ahead and open up this transcription, and I can definitely check my action items right here. So in this example, my sales rep knows that, okay, this call was made. I'm supposed to send out a calendar invite to Alicia. Right. So while we are kind of, managing and maintaining all of these transcriptions, we definitely have filters on the top right. So I have more than, enough filters in terms of segmenting my conversations based off of call duration. Say I can check it based off of call participants, talk ratio, talk to listen ratio, or also based on the trackers. So as an example, if I want to understand how many times was a competition mentioned. So right here is where I see that, okay, there were two conversations in which prospects are talking about competition. Right. So this is how I can easily maintain and manage my call transcriptions. But at this point, I really want to say this, that your transcriptions are secure, your transcriptions are safe, and they are stored alongside your contact or your deal records so that, it is very easy for you to access them. And definitely, while this is presented in a text format, you can easily copy pieces of it, put it inside the multiple fields of SalesMate that can then trigger Smartflows. Right. So, we have been hearing a lot about Smartflows. We've been talking a lot about Smartflows. So, Sam, I am more than excited to learn and understand what is in store for us when it comes to Smartflows, right? Because it has more of the AI components. It also has API integrations, that can help us largely. So over to you, Sam. We would love to learn from you. What do we have when it comes to Smartflows?
Sure. Thanks, Nachiket. As we discussed, I'm going to talk more about the smart flows. Smart flows are actually released few months back. Many of our customers are already using it, but for few, it's still, unused feature because they might be using the automation journeys. And they might be like, why we have smart flows when we have ages? So I would like to share, we started with smart flows as an advanced version of even for all the automation journeys. So they are offering more power, flexibility, and broader coverage. Unlike automation journeys, SmartFlow works across all the modules, including custom modules, and it has capability to communicate with external apps too. And that's how it brings full control over the automation within your CRM. Um, so we just talk about the points. So it's extremely powerful, user friendly. You do not have to code from your end to create complex automation journeys or your playbooks. It works across all the modules. And the best thing with the Smartflow, we started giving it for free. So every plan do have credits available to utilize this Smartflow for their business to create their playbooks. And you only pay if your usage is significantly high. So this ensures that you only pay while you are actually saving the time and effort by automating the task, would otherwise require a lot of manual intervention. And just to show the capabilities, we are just going through a live process, and I will try to explain what's new in the Smartflow. So this is actually a Smartflow in action. And while we land on it, again, okay, I think the screen is working. Yeah. So within Smartflows, while we land on the dashboard, we can see all the running Smartflows within the system, the number of executions, what has already happened, the number of active people within Smartflow, and we can take further actions like logs, or I can lock it down. I can create a new Smartflow and by code, or we can use from the templates. So over here, we have provided a lot of templates categorized by use cases and industries. This gives you power to choose or see, what are the capabilities of the Smartflow. You can try to check our core templates and then decide if you want to use it or even extend it. So it's pretty simple. Just click on the use template and it will be cloned within your Smartflow workspace, or you can create your own. And if we are creating our own, unlike automation journeys, this time we have different options available. So one is trigger-based flow, which actually runs whenever some event happens or some activity happens within the SalesMate. Subflow is like, as the name suggests, it's called from other flows, and manual, you can manually trigger it on the record. So we'll cover all of those, but let's go for the trigger-based flow first of all. And I'm going to create a flow. It's called webinar flow for this webinar itself. I can select a folder just for better categorization, and let's create. So as soon as we land to our Smartflow screen, we can choose the triggers. We have so many triggers available, from record created, updated, field change, so many options. We also have on page visits or events happening on the website. Here are the few of my favorite, like date and time schedule. So I can call certain action at particular date and time, and I can repeat it over and over again. And the API call is helpful while I want to integrate with third-party systems, whereas they can send me the webhooks and I can write Smartflow to process the data. You already know the Smartflow is based on communication and e-commerce activities. So let's start with the basic one. I can start on the record creation. I can assign a name. In Smartflow, assigning name is pretty important because we can use it in further actions by calling their names, and we can access their fields. I can also put the condition like, I want to execute this Smartflow only for the context and not for any other sort of records. And I can also decide whether the Smartflow should run only once or more than that. So this time we have those options which were not available before in the AJs. So you can see I can choose single time, more than once if it's not already running through the Smartflow. So it gives you a protection, or more than once whenever the condition is met. So let's say website activity, you want to run it more than once, but not for the others. And over here, I'm just trying to put an action. I just wanted to show you how many actions we do have available over here. It's not possible to cover everything, but we will try to give the idea of most of things. And this is my favorite, OpenAI based, which we are going to talk more further. So this is again an email-based smart flow. I can choose a record. I can pass further details if I want to include to the email a field, and that's it. Um, so rather than creating the smart flow in this webinar, I have a pre-created flow and I can try to explain things in a better way. And sorry, so here is, we have a development options also available. So I can create variable, I can assign the type. This helps me to process data in between while providing to the next section. I just wanted to cover it because in the next tutorial, I'm going to cover the domain part. So we just created the domain with the text type. And let's see the whole smart flow in action. Let me switch my screen. Okay, hold on. I'm going back to my prospecting smart flow. Here it is. Yep. So this smart flow actually starts while a tag is appended to my contact. I want to be careful while I want to do this particular prospecting. We just created a domain variable, so I can actually split my email address. I can fetch the domain out of it and can use it for the further processes. So as soon as I have found the domain, I will try to check the company if it exists. And if it's already there, I will skip it. But if it's not within the system, I'm calling my favorite action, OpenAI. You guys have already used the ChatGPT. So this is, you give a prompt, like what you want to fetch it, and the variables, how we want to collect that prospecting data to enrich it and choose the model. And we can save it. Once API call is made, the data is available, I can create a new record by providing all the prospecting data, what we picked up from the last step. So I would say let's go and check one live execution. And I'm just going to create a new contact from here. Let's say I have a contact, which is Chris Mori. Chris Mori actually works at sonymusic.com. Sony Music. So I'm just trying to put its email address itself and I will save it. Oh, let's put the mobile number too. It is one of the required fields. Okay, let's save. But if you remember, our smart flow was actually configured on a tag. So let me assign it the prospecting one. In the background, now the smart flow will get activated. It will try to fetch the records using OpenAI and will create it. Hey, it's available. So you can see the record Sony Music Entertainment got created. It's fetched its website, its publicly available phone number, their stakeholders, revenue, number of employees, LinkedIn URL, and description. So this is a very basic example about how you can utilize AI-based action to create your own agents. And very soon we are also going to integrate Perplexity and Cloud and other very well-known AI APIs within the system. So it increases scope. Here is one more example from our pre-created one. So Dealfront is a provider of the leads. Wherever somebody visits your website, it gives you these variables. Okay, once you get those variables of the visitors, what we are trying to do, we are trying to find whether that particular company has already visited our page. If not, if it's the first time, we are creating a company. And in case if they have already visited our website before, we have captured the data. We are just putting up their interactions, saving it, and we are calling a subflow. Remember, we talked about the subflow at the starting of the smart flows. And here is a subflow. Okay. We created this to keep our code clean. And I'm also going to share another use case. So in this subflow, we are calling API to fetch the data, the fetch the visits, the how many times they have visited our website in the past. I am actually going to store this all data in a custom module and run further smart flows on that to do a lead scoring. So over here, I'm looping through the visits. I'm checking out if it's a record which is already stored or not. And if not, I'm going to store it within the system for the further action. But there can be a cases whereas deal front misses out to send us a webhook. Let's say the service was down and we do not want to miss any of the visits. So we have created another manual flow over here and call the same subflow. So I do not have to repeat all my actions again and again for doing this operations. And what I can do, I felt, oh, I haven't got visits of this contact. Let me just run this subflow and fetch all the details. So you saw how the trigger-based subflows, trigger-based flows and subflows and manual flows can be helpful. And here are the results of all my past actions. How many of them got enrolled, how many of got successfully executed, and if there were any failures. So not only smart flows automate a lot of our work, they they save us from remembering everything. Like you can send email on particular point of time, or you can score a lead higher when they visit the website. The possibilities are infinite. And while in last 3 months we were working with customers in configuring different smart flows, we learned so many different cases, and we were felt like we were surprised like this smart flows can be used in such a different way. And especially with this API webhooks, they have integrated a lot of their applications using this without having any third party costlier systems like Zapier or Make to do those communication. So it's actually saving them almost 6x of the cost. That's what we have learned from all our customers. And I would say further, Kamlesh will take it over and explain the next things what we have it. Thank you.
Sure, Sam. That was indeed great insights onto Smartflows when these are easing our users life further with the flexibility that they have and the reliability that it offers. Right. Moving on to the next topic, that's their data validation rules. What indeed, what is data validation rules, right? When we look at it, it talks about data, right? Data itself brings in a lot of questions, right, about in our mind, right? Whether the data is accurate, clean. Data is basically a critical piece in any business, right? Poor quality data can lead to, you know, misled decisions or inefficiencies, right? Uh, Although we have basic sanity checks in place, right? We have validations in place, right? When you enter an email, it'll allow you to only enter valid emails or even other fields, right? Where you can actually put in, where you already have predefined rules as to how the data can come in, duplication rules and otherwise, right? But here, people needed more, right? This more is what we have covered up with data validation rules, right? Complex validations where you need to uh, have clean data coming in, right? Uh, People tend to have a habit of overcoming these rules that you have. A basic example I would take is email@email.com is a general way that people try to escape these rules, right? It's a valid email, right? But then if you want to block this, that's where data validation is your answer, right? So now when you have this sanity in place, right, when you're getting to, complex validations is where you can actually have this and actually run more complex automations. Your automations won't break. And with the advent of AI that we see, right, agents, right, AI agents, they're all dependent on what data you feed them. So if you feed them accurate data in, they'll give you data, accurate data out. So that garbage in, garbage out, that is resolved, right? Uh, that's where, Samir, I believe you'll agree to this, right? And that's where I have put in examples here. First basic example is on the company. I have a, you know, CIN. Sorry for that. No problem. Yep, technical things happening today. No worries about it. So on CIN is basically the corporate identification number, right? Where you have a field that is, right, is basically where you have these corporate identification numbers on the company. The validations are not only on, a single module. We have it throughout different modules, right? Yeah, there it goes live, right? CIN. So wherein gets into Sam. Do we have any interruptions? I can take over. Okay, there we are. It can be applied not only on system fields but also, different other fields, right? I put in the CIN. I'm getting into it, right? Where I'm doing a basic check. What is the basic check? The length of the CIN should be 21 characters. A basic check that I did, and that's once I have done this basic check, applied the basic check, the rule is where if it gets validated, is where I can, pass on the message. If it's not validated, what is the error message that I want to show, right? You can define the message that you want to see, where exactly this message should appear. So those are the options right on the top of the page or below the field. That's where you can actually put in. Define it where exactly you want, people, how exactly your team is comfortable doing that. Let's see it with a live example. I'm adding a company. It's us, salesmate.io. I'm putting a CIN, right? So I put in a CIN and you can see that I'm entering incorrect data. When I'm saving it, there you are. It's showing me that validation, right? It avoids letting the users enter incorrect data. So that's where your data quality is being maintained. Likewise, let's go on to other, a little bit more complex things, right? Where I have certain validations. Again, I'm favorite with numbers, right? So I've taken employee, identification number again, right? Again, it has a typical format. Everyone knows it in the US. A typical 9-digit format is what it holds, right? These formats are basically built around what? Regular expressions. So that is a short form of it is regex, right? That's where you can actually put in the regex that applies to it, the rules that applies to it, and that's how you can validate it. And we're not just restricting you on that, right? So you define it, and then again the same thing, the message that is being displayed. And likewise, I have defined the regex also on the other field that is mobile. Again, getting into more detailed expressions, right? This is a much more complex thing. Need not worry about it. We've given you those parameter, those predefined regexes here, right? Think of a field, it would have it. If not, it's easy to find it. Either reach out to us, right? We'll be able to help you. Or even if you Google it, you'll find the regex right there itself. Just copy paste it right here, and your job is done, right? And it basically helps you in validating the way you want the data to be entered in your system. And now a step further, I put it in, you know, when you have, you want to get more granular, right? You want to get into more conditional validations. That's where I have, some validations here. Like you can see based on deal value, the discount, or the estimated close date. Let's get into an example of discount. I want the discount to be there only if the country is Canada. It should give me 10% discount, right? It should not go beyond that. So that's where I've gone in and applied multiple conditions on a single field. So that's multiple conditions on a single field. And you have, you can get more deeper, right? It's basically if and conditions, if on or conditions that you can do. When it comes to deal value, that's where I've gone in and gone in more stepwise, right? Uh, First, I am checking it whether deal value is greater than 10,000 or not. Then I'm checking, okay, if it's greater than 10,000, I want to verify another field that it should have a value. Instead of marking it at compulsory, I am validating it here. So what happens is when I want to get this data in, is where, you know, there at the entry point itself or while people are updating that data, these rules are basically applied, right? It's not just, these set of rules. You can use these in, conjunction, like not just here, while you're entering data, not only in manual entries, but also while you're actually importing data, getting data in, right? So that applies to there. And what is the impact of it, right? The impact of having cleaner data is you have reliable reporting, right? You now see that, okay, fine, my data in that is going in, there's no garbage in, so have more reliable reporting, right? You have built in more efficient processes. Your automations don't fail because if somebody added X or somebody added Y, my automation, won't go crazy and fail, right? That's where you can build in more efficient processes. It helps you build more better team accountability because you don't stop the user. You're not actually uh, advocating the user or you're running behind the user to actually enter proper data. The system does it for you, right? And while we see this, as you saw me configure right in this, right, it was just clicking buttons, and I copy pasted some regexes and things. I had complete control over how I was able to configure it with ease and simplicity. So that's how we stand out. We stand true to our motto of having a simple CRM while giving you advanced features. Yeah. So that's until now, what we covered is basically what is currently available, right? I'm going to now open the page for what is going to come up next, upcoming features. So, right, drum rolls, please. Let's get on to what's coming next. So the first thing that is coming in, we are raising the bar when it comes to uh, you know granular permissions in terms of increasing data security in the system, plus the reliability of data that you get in, right? So, and more onto access control as well, right? So that's where we have gotten two new things onto granular permissions. One, pipeline level data permissions, and second, profile level privacy controls. So here, as you can see, data privacy on the screen. What do you notice here? We have got rid of something, right? Can anyone guess it? What are we missing here? Anyone? What are we missing on the screen? Okay, no answers. Not to worry. I'll open the book. Right, it's basically global data sharing permissions. Right, global data sharing permissions is what we have got away with. Why? Why have we gone away with it? Because it was restricting you to on a top level, right? Rather than it was like either you're in or either you're out. You're doing it on the module level, right? You're not getting granular. Now combining the uh, profile permissions is where, so here, that's where you have global data sharing permissions. What you had, public, private, and things, right? That's where you have, basic now, not, that's where we're getting granular, right? So this is the page profile permissions and how we're giving it, right? So we've maintained that thing which we have on the global data sharing permissions, brought it to here. Either it's none, that is following global data sharing policy, what you own, right? What you own or what is in your hierarchy, right? Or any records, right? But this gives you flexibility onto, what you want to group, right? Whether you have regional teams that you want to take up, right? And restrict data, right? Module level that you want to restrict, right? Different modules, right? And you want to have on the modules itself, you want to have other granular permissions getting in profile based. That's where you can apply it. So this is more of, now when you have segregated teams, right? They can have segregated data, right? And this basically complies to GDPR, right? Where you have data sharing happening or any local laws or even industry specific laws. That's where it helps you, right? Uh, yeah. So it not just not ends there. Next we have is the deal, like that is the deal level permissions. You have been asking for it, right? Lot many people have been asking for it. So I have deals under that. I have different pipelines, right? The pipeline level permissions. I can now go ahead and apply pipeline level permissions as well, right? Different pipelines, different people around there. Like you have your sales team, you have a CS team. Say you can combine this with sales being able to see figures, CS no figures, just the CS pipeline, right? And if they want to have visibility on the data, combine it with field level permissions, and there you have more control over these things, right? When it comes to this is you can apply it from here, right here, or you can just go to the deal module, go to your pipeline, right, where you can just edit the pipeline. Down below is where you'd see, okay, these this is a customer success pipeline, so it's only standard permissions that I want to give it. The others remain for the sales. Likewise, on the sales pipeline, I can have it only for sales. So that's how I have it segregated, easy enough to configure. We have maintained what we say, right? And yeah, we fulfilled our promise onto giving you the best pipeline level permissions as well, right? Staying committed to our, sorry about that, staying committed to our, you know, word is where, uh, you know, that's where it gives you these specific benefits, right? These are the same benefits that are already talked about, enhanced data security that we talked about, while you're actually using user roles, and you have sensitive data to share among, different profiles. Granular controls, we already talked about it. Better compliance, again, I mentioned GDPR and other laws that you have, you can, now get into, right? Comply to them, right? Improved performance in terms of, now we have better data visibility. And again, giving a tailored user experience is what we stick to, right? Wherein each team has only the data that they want to see. So with that, I will, now hand over the baton to NK, who's going to, actually dive in and explain us about the new thing, new mobile app, right? As well. Over to you, NK.
Makes sense. Kamlesh, thank you so much for giving us that elaborate explanation. A lot of exciting things coming in, guys. And, my personal favorite, I should say second best. Okay, it's too difficult for me to decide. All of these are my favorite features, but let's kind of jump in and talk about the new mobile application, right? This is my personal favorite is what, let's put it that way, and it is just going to be available on the production in a couple of weeks time, right? When we talk about the mobile app, you will see a completely fresh layout to kind of create a more smooth, intuitive experience on the go. So, one of the first things that you guys will notice is the navigation has moved towards the bottom of the screen. And isn't just a cosmetic change. It's about streamlining your workflows and making the features you see most frequently easy to access. So let's say if you're focusing on specific goals like clienteling, you can customize which module appears into your bottom navigation screen. Simply just click on them, drag and drop them, and bring out the modules that you would want to see on your mobile interface. No clutter, no digging through menus, just what you need exactly where you need it. We've also introduced multiple layouts that are available as an option for different roles or different use cases. So let's go and open up one of our contacts, as an example. And if you're on the road meeting customers all day, you might want to switch, say between the layouts and kind of go ahead and open up, say, a mobile layout as an example. This layout will highlight the fields and widgets more relevant to for a face-to-face meeting. So this could include location details, activities, say quick notes, whatever keeps you on top of things without a distraction. You can even create tabs to remove widgets or modules that you do not need. And yes, all of this is just drag and drop. So, just like on our web application, you can arrange widgets to match your personal workflow. Maybe put an upcoming task front and center while keeping recent activities handy on another tab. This flexibility adds tremendous value, allowing you to adapt to the mobile app, make it your own, and kind of make it adjustable to your unique workflows and working style. And by focusing on a very simplified navigation and providing customizable layouts, we have kind of made it much more easier than ever to get the most out of our mobile application. It's secure, it's intuitive, and it's incredibly convenient, perfect for all of us who actually run from meeting to meeting or simply prefer working on phone. Right. So I hope you are excited, as I am, about the improvements that we are rolling out. I truly believe that this redesigned mobile application will be a game changer for anyone who needs to stay productive, organized, on the go. But as I said, we are not done yet. So okay, right here is where we need drum rolls because we are going to talk more about AIs. Okay, so AI agents, knowledge base. Sam, why don't you take it away? I am more than excited, and yes, that's my number one feature for today.
Thank you, Nachiket. As we say, the innovation never stops at SalesMate, and we are excited about few forthcoming features, which we are adding the knowledge base and our two AI agents is like co-pilot agent and the autopilot. So first of all, we know knowledge base. This is like a new module, whereas your company can create, organize, and share informational content, especially in the library form, FAQs, guides, or resources. So if you are familiar with the support platforms, which are actually useful for helping the customers, let's say FAQ article about how to reset the password or guide on product installation. So Salesman knowledge base will enable to build such repositories seamlessly. Okay, so you will be able to provide this to your customers as a self helping portals. But not only this, we are coming up with AI agent Copilot. So Copilot is actually useful for your users. Okay. Copilot agents are incredibly useful support representatives. They serve as comprehensive repository of information, enabling reps to quickly access the answers from available knowledge base. So these bots can actually learn from the request. They can suggest relevant responses. So support reps can focus on the main things, whereas they have to put their brain to resolve the bigger problems rather than just giving monotonous answers about, hey, what is your pricing, or how should I configure something. And these agents will be available early Q2. We are working on that. We'll be start giving beta access, and Q2 you will have the whole control with you. And in future, we'll be modifying this agents to even also listen to your chats, tickets, and automatically improvise the data. So whenever there is a new question, they can provide better answers. And this is Copilot, but same way we have the autopilot. This is the most favorite part, whereas autopilot agents are the intelligent chatbots that integrate with Salesman to handle various automated conversations and tasks. As I said, imagine having a 24/7 virtual assistant on your website or within your app, because our agents can be enabled within your iOS or Android apps. We have the SDKs available. So they can answer common questions, qualify leads, or even create records. Over here, we are just sharing two examples, whereas one automation agent is simply giving answers to the customer without requiring user to interact with that. Like, hey, I want to know about certain feature, and he is responding it. And the other one is automating tasks. Like we have Smartflows, we have APIs within that. This autopilot agents will walk through those API. You can automate your processes. Like customer wants to return something, a product what they have purchased. It can look into your Shopify, BigCommerce, or other store. It can bring the data. It can ask for the confirmation and take further actions. So we are pretty excited to roll out this new agents early next Q2, and that will change the whole scope about how you can help your customers in different ways. So I think that's it from our end, and we can either summarize, or if we have questions, we can take them and answer it.
Makes sense, guys. So if you have, any questions, please feel free and drop it up in the chat right here. We would definitely be more than excited to take up those questions and help answer those.
I see most of the questions have been answered while they were actually put in, right? So let's take up some questions which is there. Uh, will the mobile app be voice activated via Siri when driving? That's one of the questions which Tamer had. Sam, would you like to answer that?
We have Sandy, which whereas we are trying to incorporate the voice, but we will also look into the possibilities whereas we can integrate with the Siri, when somebody's driving. So It's not already planned, but yes, it's a great idea and we will look into that.
Okay, I believe Fabian has a question there. Fabian, can you put it on the Q&A or the chat, if you don't mind? Mm, not exactly. Okay, we'll take up another question. Uh, do you have any plans on integrating a say AI sales appointment setting service to make phone calls through SalesMate?
Sorry, can you repeat the question?
Sure. Do you have any plans of integrating an AI sales appointment setting service to make phone calls through SalesMate?
Yes, definitely. It's already planned. So first of all, in Q2, we are just launching this chat based, and our next phase is make it on the voice, whereas we'll be able to use it over the call. So customers can call you, they can get the answers, they can take actions, and even book appointments. So that's exactly just after our AI agent launch for the chat.
Uh, Charles, no need to worry about it. You know, don't feel left back, right? We are with you, right? We are learning as we grow, right? So if you have anything, Charles, a set of reassurance from the team, right? Reach out to my team, right? And they'll be able to help you understand these features, adopt to it as well, right?
Okay, I can see few questions if we can
Yeah,
quickly take it.
sure.
There was a question, when will be able to use the attributes text from the custom modules and the email templates? We are trying to provide it via Smartflows, and I think within the next month it should be available. We are testing that out. So in Smartflows, while sending email, we are giving you the option to choose related records. So if there are any further custom modules, you can pass those things and you can replace it. So that's in the testing phase itself, and it will be available pretty soon. Uh, And there is one more. It's called video integration. Any plans of native video options to send the video messages to the clients? Right now, we do not have any plans for the video integration, although we do have certain articles to integrate third-party apps to send the videos. You can reach out over the support team or chat, and they will be able to help you out for that. There is one more. Transcription are great, but how can I make calls and save with the summary viewable in the context? Uh, I'm not sure about this transcription question, but all the calls which are made, the transcription are associated with that and will be available on the timeline. You click on it, quick view opens up, and from there, we can launch the transcription. Might be our team can send you more instruction, or we can learn more about your use case. Um, there's a question from Fabian, how can it be applied on the real estate? Uh, on the real estate, a lot of our customers are using web event trackings, the what properties were visited. We have few use cases, whereas we integrated Smartflows with the realtor.com to exchange the data and automatically do actions. So Smartflows do have the capabilities. Might be you can catch up with support team, discuss your cases, and surely will be able to help you with the real estate scenarios. Um, when transactional non-email marketing emails are coming to Smartflows. That's one of the big requirement what we have got recently from multiple customers. I think it should be available pretty soon. We have already taken for the development and might be by the end of April, it should be available. So you should be able to send transactional emails via the SmartFlow. Uh, there is a question, how soon will the granular permissions will be rolled out and it will be same for all the plans? Yes, granular permissions will be same for all the plans, but it depends on number of profile you have it. The This is going to be launched by the end of March or early April. So we are testing that out, and it's going to be rolled out pretty soon, within week, or means 2 to 3 weeks. There is one more question: is what level of plan data validation functionality is available on? So right now, the data validation functionality is available on the enterprise and the topmost plans, because whereas we feel it's utilized by the companies who are having more data pipelines and have the bigger users count. They have the training challenges and they want to implement these features, so it's available at the top plan right now. I think we have covered the questions which I can see over here. Have you got any further questions?
No, I think those were it, and you've taken up most of the questions, Sam. Right, and we are like in time, right on time for the presentation that we had. Right, uh, it was indeed a pleasure, interacting with you, everyone here today. Right, those of you who have joined us today, taking out time at odd hours. We know it's 1 p.m. Eastern time for someone in the UK, or otherwise it's opposite timings that you guys have. Uh, we are very much thankful to you guys to have it, to have you here, join us in abundance, right? Thanks a lot. Right. NK, I would like you to take the closing note, and yep.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much, Sam. Thank you so much, Kay, for taking the presentation today. And guys, thank you so much for being a wonderful audience. Right, a presenter is only as good as the audience. We really love your participation. And before we let you go, okay, the icing on the cake is where we have launched our community. Okay, so you can access our community by just typing in community.salesmate.io. Right, we would love for you guys to shower in some love. Let's ideate together on the community. Put in your thoughts, put in your questions. Let's kind of make it much more interactive over there. And in case you have any questions, our award-winning support team is just one chat message away. Right. So if we missed any questions, if you have any follow-up questions, we are more than happy to assist you. And like always, guys, at SalesMate, we'll keep innovating, we'll keep making the product better. We will bring in a lot more AI features, but it's going to be super easy for us to use. Appreciate all of your time today, guys. I hope you have a lovely Wednesday. If you need any more help, feel free to reach out to us, and we are more than happy to assist you. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care.
Thank you, everyone.